Have you ever felt incompetent? So last spring, I was going through a rough time like I always am, and what I like to do when I'm going through a rough time is investing hundreds of hours in a video game. It does wonders, 10 out of 10 I recommend. And last spring, I was feeling down and I was looking for a new video game to ruin my life with, which is when I remembered this cute looking game that I've always had on my games to play list, but I never got around to it. So I figured, hey, maybe I should try it now. Usually I don't like knowing a lot about the stuff that I'm going to play. I either know absolutely nothing about a video game, not even its title, or I know everything. And I mean, I watched a 7-hour long video analyzing literally everything in a game before playing it, kind of everything. But with Hollow Knight, I know absolutely nothing. Like, I didn't even know the name of the game. I just had a photo of the knight that I'd seen somewhere, and I thought, hey, this is a cute game, I should play it. So I downloaded the game, started playing it, and realized that, damn, this game is really, really good. If you haven't played the game, I don't think you need to be worried about spoilers, because honestly, I think this is the type of game that no matter how much you know about it, there's still gonna be something interesting and fun for you to find out. And even if you know absolutely everything about it, you can still enjoy it. And honestly, if a spoiler ruins your enjoyment of something good, are you sure that thing was ever good to begin with? But anyways, the cute game that I had a screenshot of was called Hollow Knight. In Hollow Knight, you're playing as this cute little knight, and the game begins with you arriving in Dirtmouth. There's no one there but a bug called Elderbug, who's actually one of the youngest characters in the game. But you talk to Elderbug, he tells you that all the residents have disappeared and now he's the only one left to welcome you. He also tells you that there used to be a great kingdom beneath the town, and it's long fell to ruins. So you go down the well and you find yourself in the Forgotten Crossroads. No guide, no explanation, no dash cloak, no mantis claw, no bitches, you're just on your own. All on your own, you walk around in this dark blue fading world without the slightest idea about what's going on or why you're here, really. The walls are falling apart, the roads are destroyed, everything's been deteriorating for the longest time, and everyone is gone, and it takes you a while to find another friendly face. Or at least it took me a long time. I don't know how long it took for other people to find Cornifer. I found him like 2 hours into the game. I don't know what I was doing, but it took me a long time. From the very beginning, the atmosphere of the game is really well established. You're just a little ghost wandering around this now forgotten roads for no real reason. You're just enjoying the vibes, I guess, saving a grub or two if you can. And since you don't have the ability to dash or claw into walls yet, traversing around isn't comfortable yet. And if, like me, you haven't played many Metroidvanias, you kinda suck. You're gonna constantly take damage from venge flies or fall into acid pits, and primal acids will be the bane of your existence. But you keep wandering around nonetheless because the game is fun and you like the atmosphere, and also everything is really cute in this game. And then slowly you stumble into new areas and you kinda get into this routine. You wander around, you get into a boss fight maybe, until you hear the sound of Cornifer humming, and then you go try to find him, and then you purchase a map, and now you're gonna feel more confident wandering around because you're not gonna get lost. You are still gonna get lost, but you're not gonna get too lost. And you're just having fun exploring the world until you reach Fog Canyon. That's where you go, nah, fuck this place, and you walk back the way you came from. And this time, you probably reach City of Tears, and honestly, the feeling of entering the City of Tears for the first time is unmatched. You walk up to the window, sit next to Quirrell on the bench, watch the somber rain, and Quirrell asks, I wonder where the rain comes from. And then you can just sit there and enjoy the rain. As you walk around the City of Tears, creep around the deepness, and find the crumbles of White Palace, there's an ever-present sense of nostalgic melancholy. There's history you don't know about, and you can only learn about it through lines of dialogue here and there. Hollow Knight begins and ends in this melancholy and darkness, then it makes you comfortable in that sense of doom. Unlike majority of other games, by the end of Hollow Knight, things still aren't in order, shit isn't fixed, Hallownest is still in ruin, and it's never going back to the way it was. By the end of the game, even if you reach 112%, it will not end with a sense of victory, it's still melancholic, which I think is what makes it such a perfect game to play when you're not feeling good about the world or yourself or just life in general. It meets you at that sense of being depressed without adding to it and without making you feel like you have to let go of it. It just helps you kind of get along with it. And there is so much to discover in Hallownest that you can technically finish the game without even discovering half the map, I think. I'm not sure if it's exactly half the map, but a lot of the map. I think you can get to the end credits with less than 50 50% completion. So if you haven't played Hollow Knight, give yourself a favor, go play it. It's honestly dirt cheap. I can't believe a game that has this much to give costs less than $20. I think it's $15 only. And it's on PS Plus, so if for whatever reason you're still paying for that overpriced subscription, you can download it there. The gameplay is amazing, the world design is amazing, the lore is amazing. It's an amazing piece of art, true and true, and there's literally nothing to complain. Okay, just go play it. On my first playthrough of Hollow Knight, I really enjoyed it, but it didn't become one of my favorite games of all time until I started my second playthrough. Hollow Knight's world is designed in a way that makes you go through the same roads and passages again and again and again. And at first, you're not familiar with anything, so every enemy is difficult and everything feels really challenging, but then slowly you get familiar with things, you get to know the roads and where everything is, and you know how to fight each enemy, and you know which ones you can just walk past and not bother them at all. So on your second playthrough, even though you're once again thrown into this world with no dash, no mantis claw, no bitches, you're familiar with this place and you're not gonna get lost as much and things aren't scary, and dying twice in a row and losing all your geo doesn't hurt as much. Or you learned that you can go to the hut of that bug at the end of Dirtmouth and just give her a rancid egg so that she will summon your shade and you can kill it there and not lose any of your geo. Hollow Knight is a game I keep going back to because it's really good at making you feel at home in Hollow Knight. But more than its atmosphere and story and cute designs, what I love the most about the game that makes it one of my favorites is its gameplay. I love Hollow Knight for the same reason I love fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. You know, in a lot of games you get better by unlocking an ability, and when you do that it's just a new button that you can press. Like you kill enough enemies, then you get a skill point, and then you can spend it on a new skill, and that skill opens a new button that you can press. But in a game like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, there aren't any abilities that you can unlock. All of the abilities are already there, you just need to learn them. But as you manage to land your first combo or understand what the fuck canceling means, you slowly learn to do these cool things, and what happens on the screen looks cool. Your character does cool things, but the reason why the character is doing those cool things is because you did it. The person who actually did the cool thing is you. And it's kind of the same in Hollow Knight. And it's not something you will notice when you're playing the game for the first time, because by the time you get near the end of the game, you probably have unlocked a lot of charms, you've probably upgraded your nail a couple of times, and you kind of feel like, yeah, I'm better at this because I have fragile strength or Ismasteer. But when you're starting the game all over, you are once again bitchless. But all of a sudden, platforming challenges aren't hard, False Knight is suddenly really easy to beat, and you can finish Path of Pain in less than 3 hours. This time, you're actually using spells, and you don't forget about their existence completely. And Soul Tyrant isn't the most terrifying enemy you've ever encountered. Primal Aspects, however, will still remain the bane of your existence. You know, you feel yourself being better at the game. Your progress is tangible and is the payoff for your own hard work. And the game's easier because you've gotten better, not because you gained a bunch of abilities. Except for when it comes to acid pets, that's still just Ismasteer. And this might sound like a very specific issue that I have, but a lot of times I forget that I can actually get better at things. Improving and getting better at things in real life takes a lot of time, and it happens in very tiny and slow steps. So tiny and slow, as a matter of fact, that you don't notice it a lot of times unless you look back, but that's not something we do a lot. So a lot of times when you're just starting out or when you're trying something new, even though you are sticking to it and you're practicing really hard, it can feel like you're not making any progress at all and you're still at the same place that you've been months ago, even though that's not true. Or it can be that you just don't think you can get better at something, so you just never even started. And a lot of times when I'm starting something new and I feel like I'm stuck in the same place and I'm not making any progress, I need to remind myself that I can get better, that I have started things before and I've gotten better at them, and this is no exception, that I will get better at this too. And to be reminded of that, sometimes I need a really tangible example that I can just see. And Hollow Knight for me is a game that does exactly that. Every time I play it again, I see myself getting better. I remember myself struggling with something last time I was playing it, but all of a sudden, it's so easy this time around. I actually finished Path of Pain in 40 minutes this time, and the third Colosseum isn't impossible anymore. Primal Aspects, however, are still the bane of my existence. Hollow Knight isn't the only game that does this. There are other games that do the same thing. Fighting games do this. You might say Dark Souls games do this. But to that I must counter, do any of them look this cute? No, you don't play as a little tiny cute ghost with tiny legs in any of those games. So yeah, if you feel incompetent, play Hollow Knight and then play it again. And maybe this time you will feel less incompetent. And that's it. Bye!